All right. Welcome back, people. Um, I got a new headset. It's a Razer headset, though, the piece of shit that gamers use. So I figured, okay, let's go with what the nerds are using. All right, we're gonna start at the 2 month, simply because this is where I think people need to understand what's happening here. So I'm gonna delete the red lines and delete the boxes because I think by now everybody knows what I mean by them. Okay, on my last video, I did say that for the 2 month, there's two things you're looking for. And we're very dangerously close to triggering this. So um, the last candle was a gravestone doji. Uh, and now this current candle is getting dangerously close to signal another gravestone doji. Now, this has never ever happened in the history of Bitcoin where we have two gravestone dojis back to back on the 2 month chart, let alone, right? So if if you remember, I said if we hit the end of the month, which is 6 days away with 21 hours, if we get to 60K or lower and we close the month, so basically when we start July 1st, if we start July 1st below 60K, whatever the number is, but it's below 60K, it's going to be a confirmation that this gravestone doji crash is going to happen. I don't know how else to say it, but it's a confirmation that it will fucking crash. Now, if I move back and down, this is going to be a long video, so I'm 2 minutes in, but I'll say right now, strap in, sit down, get popcorn, pause the video, go get some fucking chips, popcorn, cheeseburger, Uber Eats, whatever the fuck. This is going to be a long one. If I move into the monthly, you'll see right now that the price is struggling and to make any sort of rebound. And right now we're dancing. We're on the 62,000 pivot line. You see right there, we're on the pivot line. And it's on, in this case, even though it says R2, it's actually support because it's going down towards it. So now I want to put everyone's attention to these indicators over here because these indicators are going in a monthly approach. And so I'm going to be drawing notes because there's things I need everyone to pay attention on this video. So this video is going to be pretty hardcore. We'll start with the bottom indicator, and I'm going to highlight a few things. Where's my highlight? Okay, so we'll stay right here. This little turning down point was right here when we got the sell, right? Now, if you notice this little bounce here, doesn't show up here on this indicator on the right. However, this bottom turning up does show up right here. So we have that right here. So we got a confirmation to the downside. And then from here, we got a confirmation to the upside because of the extreme. Now, the reason this one doesn't show up here is because it's in the middle of this indicator. And I've said it before, if you want a higher possibility or probabilities, you want to be in the extremes, extreme bottom or extreme top. So where does that put us right now? If you look at the chart and this indicator, it's already crossed down. You see the cross right there, and it's happening right here. So there's a high probability now that Bitcoin is on a downward trajectory. And a lot of people probably don't want to hear that. But using the same indicator, I'm going to go down here. Look, right here was, if you notice, let me go back here, right here. So this indicator was saying down here was the perfect entry point, the perfect. Even though my cycles were saying it's actually over here, the indicator was saying it's a little earlier than that. So this is why I say I don't rely on one indicator or just my cycles. I try to see what's the majority rule, like majority of the cycles and majority of the indicators have to be in agreement. And so let me now delete these things so we can move on. So with that said, you can see why my concern is still the same, that if price using the 2 month hits at 60K or closes below 60K in 6 days from now, you need to be prepared for this. This is gonna be a fucking bloodbath. Now, down here, we have my favorite indicator, the MACD, right? Of course, it's modified using ChatGPT. Uh, so here's another thing I wanted to point out. Using this, maybe that right there. So where's the highlighter? Okay. So notice when the MACD purple line turned down, it literally signaled right there the turning point, and we even got the sell signal right there. Now, the when it turned here, we also got that right here. So basically a V shape. I'm looking for this kind of signal or this kind of signal. So we got this signal here with the purple line. We got the V shape, this one, down here. And then we got the V signal up here. Now notice, with the MACD, we didn't get any other signal until down here. These points right here, which were right here. This area, you see the first V, then another like half-ass V. So that right there was perfect signal, really the first one. If I'm gonna zoom in because I know some of you assholes. Well, it's not a V, bro. I don't know what you're looking at. You're fucking blind. Oh fuck, I can't showcase it that well right there. That one right there is the closest V. Um, so now where are we now? We're up here, and again, notice what we have: a fucking V upside down, and it's right here. So, so for those of you that doubt the MACD, if you put the MACD on the monthly, obviously this is a modified version of the MACD because I use ChatGPT to modify it, but this modified version tells me more like from in a visual pattern of the turning points. And so I have a turning point right here, and this indicator spliced into it says the same thing, that this is where it detected the absolute bottom, even though MACD tried to tell me a little earlier, but this one marked it. And notice right now it hasn't marked the top. But if I'm right, at the end of this month, this indicator, the one you see with green and red, it might mark a green dot, which will signal that was the top. I know some of you are like, oh, fuck this guy. No, he's just full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Blah, 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 whatever, right? Um, yeah, fuck you too. Well, there we go. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave it there with that one. And the MACD on the monthly. Now, let's move back here. Another indicator that's signaling a downturn right there. So again, I'm doing the comparison side by side for those of you that, what's going on? Right here. Where's the highlighter? Right here was this area. This middle point, the reason I don't care is because it's happening in the middle. So it's difficult for an investor to know what to do when you're looking at this. But people would say, well, the price was rallying. Yeah, but when you saw this signal right here, you knew this was a false breakout. But when you saw this down here, you knew you better get the fuck in. So now we're seeing the exact opposite. We're seeing here, being here. Now, some of you might say, well, what about if we get like this and this, right? So you're saying we get this, but in the price range like this. That's still a possibility if we do not close below 60. So for those of you saying that, wait, we can still rally to 100, that's a possibility if in 6 days, if we do not close at 60K or lower. So that's what you're looking for. So for those of you that are gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get ahead of the game, I'm gonna fucking short this shit or whatever, you need to wait for confirmation. And by that I mean it's fucking 6 days away. If anything, build up your cash position. If you're gonna be that asshole that shorts it, then short it with a chunk of change, right? Or if you're gonna ride it up because you're like, it didn't close below 60, bro, so that means we're probably gonna rally into the green square. Then you can pile in at a lower price of just in the low 60s and ride it. But you have to wait for confirmation. Don't be that asshole that tries to, oh, I'm smarter. I'm gonna get ahead of it. I know what I'm doing. No. Okay, so another indicator right here. Yet again, this one signaled down, this one signaled up, and right now it's signaling a downturn. So this indicator again on the monthly is saying no, there's more downside. So I'm sorry to say it, but this is not looking good. Now we go into this one. This one is the stochastics RSI. Some of you might recognize it because this is a very common indicator. Now the same thing, in my opinion. There you go. Let me go back here. Like this. Previous tops. This was this fucking top down here. This top was this top. This top is this current one we just passed. And so notice that every time, this is 3 times right here, top, top, top. This is basically saying history's about to repeat and people are gonna get an ass whooping. So I'm not stressing because if you remember, if you've been paying attention, you know that I closed about 40% of my position somewhere in this range up here. It's in my videos. I don't hide it. I close 40%. Now, what's with the rest of the positions, right? Well, I'm waiting for this. If this is gonna rally, then I'm gonna just write it back in. I don't give a shit. Now, if this is gonna drop further, I'm not a trader. I'm not gonna short it. I'm just gonna cash out more. And I would say another 20% is when I'll cash out, and then I'll just write it down and use the money, proceeds or whatever, to just buy back in. However, the danger here is this: closing below 60, we're likely to get an A, B, and then a C. That's likely what can happen. Closing above 60, we might get a this to the fifth wave going into the end of the year, and then we get an A, B, and then a C, which would put us back in the 30K. Either way, I do not see us going past 100,000. No matter what people say, we can't. I don't see it, and I've said that in so many videos. But I digress. I don't want to beat that dead horse. Okay, so that's going to be for this chart. But now I'm going to skim through the rest because I did just waste 12 minutes. Hopefully, for those of you actually paying attention, this was illuminating or enlightening, whatever the fuck. Okay. Right. So you can see right here, let me move this over here. This one, as it's going into the trough, it already signaled a short. Now this is the 12 hour on this side, but notice we're getting a buy. It's trying to bounce back, but we already got an EMA ribbon short on the 12 hour. On the left, let me switch it over. It's also on the 12, but let me go daily. There we go, so we can see more. So you see right there, the indicators are now signaling this area, which is perfect. Now it's saying that there's a possible dangerous area here. Now, that cycle goes against this one. This one is saying the low arrives in 2026. This one is saying the low arrives in 2025. So that's the thing with my cycles. I always have to keep track of which cycle system is the one getting the more accurate predictions. This one is constantly changing. So I'm not a fan of this one, but I still use it. And this one is saying, even though this one hits more accurate targets when it does hit it, but this one keeps changing. So if you've been watching my videos when I cover this setup, this target constantly changes. So that's on the 12 hour. Let me put it, I'm sorry, that was the daily. On the 12 hour, it's saying the low is arriving right now. You see that? It's saying that a low is arriving right now. But even then, it still says there's a possibility of a lower here. However, there's also a high. So right now, according to this setup, we can go down and then up, or we can go down, up, down. So this is the part that we don't know how this is going to play out. Either way, for me, it's not a big deal because, again, this is the 12 hour. If anything, I don't care too much about the 12. I look at the bigger time frames, which is the monthly, 3 week, 2 week, and the weekly, because that's where I see the big moves coming. So what happens daily or whatever happens weekly is not that important to me. As an investor, I'm not thinking of what's going to happen a week from now, a few days from now. I'm looking at what's going to happen 6 months from now, right? And so that's why if you look at cycles on the bigger time frame, it's easier to make some predictions. All right, so let's go to the next one. So in this system, no change, and it is a new week already. And this thing on the weekly did not even flip up; it stayed flipped down. So this just means more downside is expected. So I'm not surprised. The price is at 62,893 right now. Okay, Renko is still pushing down. This one is from the middle is now beginning to push down. This one is now pushing down. This one is now pushing down. This one is flattening but pushing down. This one is in the middle but beginning to push down. So Renko is now saying more downside. In fact, if you look at this Renko thing here, this one is saying more downside. So Renko, the unemotional setup, is saying more downside. Excuse me. All right. Let me see right here. What do we got? Yeah, so this one is in the same boat. The proprietary indicators that I paid for are still, look at this shit. I put this bar on our date. Today is like right here. So we're June 24. The yellow line is like Monday, June 24, right? Look at the predictions. They're still fucking down. Look, like if you're blind, this is still going down. This is still predicting down. This is still predicting down. This is still predicting down. So all of these proprietary indicators are still saying more downside, right? So things are not looking good for the bulls, even though I know some bulls are like, it's gonna rebound. Yes, it's gonna rebound, but if you're trading, I'm sure you're fucking getting wrecked. I don't trade. The only things I do trade is gold and silver, but that's because they move so slow. I can actually I don't want to say time it, but I'm getting really good at those because they move so slow. So I don't need to be actively in front of the computer for those. But anyways, that's a topic for another day. Indicators here are still pointing down. Nothing's changed. Now the trick here, or the challenge here, is this pivot point is at 62,727. The price is at 62,896. So in order to say with more confidence that we're going further down, we need to see a break of 62,727, this number. If it breaks below that, then yeah, 52 is in play, and the probability that we'll close the month lower than 60, they go up dramatically, or significantly, I should say, not dramatic. Okay. um, so this indicator, this is the MACD one. Notice the MACDs, they're still down, haven't crossed up, still down, beginning to flatten out. The 2 day, look at that, still downtrend. The 3 day, there's no fucking chance. So on the MACD setup, there's no reversal signal at all whatsoever. If you look at this one, I'm here. You're right there at the fucking trough. Like we're right there, right? Now this trough could arrive in August. So this is basically saying that from now till August, something major is expected to happen. Like, and I hate to say like something negative, because if it were positive, you see, I drew this little. You can't really see this other cycle, but I put that as a just in case it could peak. I don't see that peaking out, so now I'm like, okay, so this trough is gonna hit, and now we got this signal here saying, what are these called? The fuck, I forgot the name. Anyways, if it comes back to me, I'll remember. Fractals, there it is, fractals. This is a fractal right here. And this fractal is saying bitch is going to go down. So we're dancing on that pivot line of 62K. Remember, 62,727. We break that, a bitch could go down to in the 50s. So just be careful. Now, so I would say from now till August there is a downside target, but then this is saying if that happens, there'll be another significant rally. So the idea is stay calm. There's likely that we're gonna drop, But this drop is going to dictate if we're going to 100K, or in my opinion, maximum 90K before we have the next major crash that should, in my opinion, take us back down to 30 or below 30, possibly 20K. But that's not anytime soon. That's a couple months off. So do not panic. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is focus on how this month is going to end, because that'll dictate how big of a drop we get here. However, I've always noticed that every first week of every month, there's a bit of a pop. Like people say, okay, the previous month is over. Let's all go in. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see the first few days of July, especially it's a holiday in America, July 4th, a bit of a pop. So, but still, right now this is still looking very weak. Okay, yeah. So Elliott wave here, that is fucking crazy. So Elliott, there it is. I was hoping it could spit out the projection. So Elliott wave is saying fifth out of a fifth. So two fifth waves right there, right? For those of you that don't understand, um, and I'm gonna draw it out over here. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's the other. Now, sometimes what we're seeing here is this was a 4 and this is a 5. So what this means, what we're seeing here is the Elliott wave indicator thinks there's a small 5 wave up inside of a fourth wave pushing to a fifth. So the reason you see 5 5 is because the five in a bit of an orange color is the small, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. But the blue one, that's the big fucking trends. So that one is saying it's the end of the rally here, and we're gonna see a ABC correction. So what we're seeing here is probably, and look, I was just talking about the 50s and I didn't see this damn indicator, but this indicator saying low 50s, at the worst in the low 40s, at the worst. So let me delete all of my shit. So basically, for this one, it's saying that we could go all the way down to 43, but right now I'm in the camp of low 50s, because then from that we start another fifth wave up. The problem here is this. This is saying this is a fifth wave, so I don't know if 54K is suitable to correct the long one. I think we might get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, but again, I'm not even going to go there, because then that's going to be devastating. So I'm sticking to the 54K mark or the low 50s for now. Okay. Um damn, this one is so to the downside. It just fucking yeah, this one, that's bad. But over here, bottom right, because this is the hourly. So this is like the one for swing traders. I'm just trying to dive in to see, get an idea. This one is saying buy, while this one is in a buy mode. This one is in a buy mode. This one is getting close to a buy. How? Because it's outside of range. Outside of range, below the green line, way the fuck below. So this one on an hourly basis is saying there needs to be an upswing. So we could see price try to bounce to 63 or 64, in my opinion. Maximum would be, yeah, 64 right here, which is the blue line, and get rejected there. Anyways, yeah. So again, this is saying on the short 4 hour time frame, this is saying there needs to be a bounce. So we're expecting a bounce, but notice there's a death cross that took place on the 15th on the 4 hour. And I've always said when you get a 4 hour death cross or golden cross, they are significant. And notice it's a fucking tunnel. So yeah, this is a tunnel that you don't want to see, where it's a tunnel and price is swinging downward. So just be careful now. All right, so the flag is completely done. There's any bull that, or any YouTuber that you follow that used to say this is a bull flag, you can unsubscribe from that idiot's channel. Because when I covered this, I said this doesn't look like a normal flag, and I covered exactly why it doesn't look like a normal flag, and I concluded it wasn't likely to work. I said it's likely to fail because the things that make a bull flag were not present. And I covered that in those videos, so I'm not going to explain it, but yeah. What's happening here is a bit of a concern because notice this I need to highlight. Notice how the price stayed inside of the green and red line here. I'm sorry, it didn't. I'm sorry. The price did not stay inside. It was like very erratic, like all over the fucking place. Notice here, price went up, went down, went out of bound, then came back up, came in. But notice what's happening right here. It's staying within this range. That's very, very fucking unusual. It's actually not something I like to see, because when I see this, for example, let me let me hide the MACD because you'll probably understand if I make it larger. So the reason I don't like what's happening here is because of this. When you have out of range or outside of bound, you can expect a bounce, and so that's what you see here. It went out of the green line, and you saw the spike back up to get back in. It went back under, and then it spiked back up and went up, right? And then again, it went out of bound on the top side, so we saw it pull back and then pull back hardcore, but then again pull outside of the green line, so we saw it boom all the way back up. The reverse, we went out of the red line and boom, right? So you see how this indicator setup works. If you're careful, you can swing trade here, 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 and here, and it kind of peaks, so you can do it right there. So this is for like a setup I've been trying to see for like swing traders, right? Like right here. Oh shit, right here. All these like buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, and I would have fucked up here. So this would have been a loss for me. This would have been a fuck trade for me. But you get the idea how this indicator works, right? As long as it goes outside of the ranges, then you can kind of see like, okay, it's gonna moonshot or whatever the fuck. And exactly what happened here. It went out, and you're like, fucking A, and then but then it drops. So you could have shorted, just swing trade short, and then close your position. Fuck it. And then here you're like, I don't know. But then as soon as what's happening right now here, that it's inside of this range, this is fucking problematic to me. Let me see if there's any chart here. Actually, hold on, people. Like, I don't like this, and I'm gonna see if what I see here is what I think is gonna fucking happen. Because if I'm right, this bitch might pop. Now, that's not a bull flag because you're missing the pull. The pull, in order for this to be qualified, should be like this. Then you take the pull and you put it right here, and then you'll see that's how it rallies, and that it even gives you the future date. What I see here though, this is a falling wedge. Yeah, this is a falling wedge, and so the issue here is going to be, yeah, the question here is going to be, do we do this and then like this, or do we do this? But hold on, yeah, you see this red line? Let's just try and draw it like this. So the question: do we do this, hit it, and then fail? So actually, yeah, look right there. I would say this falling wedge, if I had to make a stupid prediction, it might be that this is going to bounce, but it might hit the top level of this, which is why I keep telling you guys, if you look at the price, whoops, it always tries to stay inside of the lines. And when it goes out of bounds, like here, this is where the MACD would tell you, like, don't even bother trying to short this shit. So you have to use the MACD in combination with this. But this here, I'm not so sure what the fuck to make of it, except this seems like there's going to be some sort of bounce here that it might get out of this wedge, but hard to tell. Actually, that one's hard to tell. And look, oh, okay, now here we go. The MACD in combination with this bitch would have been amazing. So right here, cross down, even though you missed the initial leg down with the weekly, or what is this? Yeah, this is the 12-hour. I'm sorry. So the 12-hour MACD crossing down. you could have stayed short. In fact, you can still stay short right now until the 12-hour crosses back up. You can then close this position. So right now, combining these two indicators, the MACD and this one, you can tell on the 12-hour, this probably should bounce, but then I don't know if this bounce is going to then collapse or if it's going to break out. And if it breaks out, I would see 66 as the breakout, and I'm using this line. Okay. Um, Fucking A, 30 minutes. Okay. Let's go forward. Okay, so notice this one no longer has a strong sell. This one is just saying sell. So this is again why I'm saying I think we're gonna be in the 50s. The problem is let me make this bitch big. Move it here. This is the MACD, and this is the MACD on the 2 weeks. So I want you to notice again this area. I'll highlight it because I'm trying to make this video idiot proof. This area is this area. This area on the MACD is this area right here. This bottom fucking area on this MACD 2 week is this area right here, the re-entry point, and also where the cycles were saying pile in as hard as you can, sell everything you got, just get in. Here is where we're in danger. So let me, now that I showed you that, just look here, which is where we're at here. If the MACD, and this is the 2 week chart, so the 2 week also has again 6 days and 21. So this MACD will move in 6 days, which is exactly when the month end also closes. So this MACD will make a move right after July 1st kicks in. Unfortunately, this is so dive down, like it's so inverted that is extremely likely it's gonna cross down. And when it crosses down, good fucking luck convincing any bear that it's gonna rally. Because if a bear sees that and he sees that July 1st at 5 seconds in, that fucking MACD crossed down on the 2 week, oh man, it's fucking over. All right. Let me go over here. So let me move this line out of the way. But July 1st, yeah. So again, we're still on a downward trend from the top, downward trend, and then again, if you look at the Fibonacci lines that I've told you guys, the tunnel spring and all that, we can't go above 81K right now, but this is saying there's more downside. Like there's way more room to the downside than there is up right now. So this one's a little hard for me to explain, but I'm gonna just leave it. So I'm gonna skip it because I am getting tired. Now, on this chart, you can see the sell signal is still there for the monthly, and cycles. We're right at the trough, like we're in the zone now. So I am not surprised that Bitcoin is struggling. These cycles are trying to fucking suck it down. I'm not surprised whatsoever. The only problem that I have is if the cycles are this strong pulling it down, and this indicator created by ChatGPT, I basically combine like 5 indicators into one. This is signaling that something big is going to happen. And when I say big, I don't mean something significant related to cryptos has to happen, because this one, if you notice, again, let me up, trough, up, trough, 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 peak. But now we have this fucking unknown area right here. So cycles, again, I've said it so many times, they don't give you price, they give you direction. And right now the cycles are saying it's a damn direction to the downside. Also, the when I get a sell signal on this chart, it's something to be taken serious. Look, sell and then a buy, a sell and then a buy, a sell and then a buy, another sell, another buy because it was in the low area of the trough, and then a sell and then a buy in this trough. And look, It kept going up and up until we got a new sell. So if you just follow this setup chart that I cover and you see that there's a sell signal, you fucking take that seriously. Anyways, and then this indicator down here is also saying you're fucked. On the right side, the alligator indicator, the red, blue, and green lines, they're about to cross down together, signaling a downward momentum push. This is still down. This one's midway down. This one is down. This one is getting close to bottom, but it's not there yet. This one is still top going down. So there's way more signals to the downside that there are to the top or moving up, I would say. So again, not the end of crypto, but if you're an investor, this means you need to be ready with cash. Like you need to be fucking ready. And if you don't, go on eBay, sell all your shit that you don't use, all your old toys like from when you were a kid, all your memorabilia, sell everything. Be on standby. Be fucking ready. Be fucking ready, people. All right, here. This one, oh yeah, this is just a visual projection that if we drop, we can drop all the way to 52. So this line here, again, 52 seems to come up a lot, and you guys see, this is just support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance. And so this line here is critical. So if this keeps going down, the lowest point I can see is in the 50s, so 52. And then we can see either a B and a C, or we see a fifth wave up. Now, the fifth wave will not, I'm going to just say that right now for the record. I do not believe it can go above 100,000. If anything, it'll just hit 100 and then just begin its massive crash. But I digress. That's my projection, and I created this using the previous projections, an average of 300% pop, another average of 300% pop, and this would be again an average 300% pop. So that's why I'm saying I don't see this shit going higher than that. The maximum, the absolute red area in it, that's if like the Saudis and all the Middle Eastern kingdoms bought in, then I could see it in the 110s and no higher. 120 would be like I would I would I don't know what I would do. I would just fucking I've cash out everything and be like, get ready for the end of the world if we go to the 110s. Yeah, like get ready for the end of the world kind of shit. Okay, 37 minutes and still going. Great. Okay, so this indicator setup is scary accurate because it's been saying that we're going to drop. However, I don't like what it's saying. It says that we're going to drop all the way to 30. But the problem is I don't have that until 2026 is when I myself, my cycles see us going back down to 30. So we still have another potential rally. But again, look, the way this cycle pattern is set, a trough, and look at the stochastics right there. Trough right there, a trough right there, right? And those are at the bottom. Look at the top, the top, the top, the top. So if we go below this line, which is 80, and this is on the monthly. So if we start July and this red and green line, which is the stochastics, if they go beneath the red line, this indicator's projections are going to be dead scary accurate, and means we're going to have a rough time. But like I said, July 1st. So I will make a video on July 1st. I'm just going to say that. Um, oh shit. Am I going to be traveling on that? Fuck. I think I am. Yeah, I'm actually going to be in a fucking airplane. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna go travel and see my niece in Texas. Shit. Okay, I guess I can do the video from the airport. Fuck it. I'll do a quick video from the airport. Yeah, I got a hotspot. Damn. Whatever. I am gonna have my laptop on me, so I'll do a quick video on July 1st of what I see. But I'm gonna be at the airport, so just be patient with me, people. Okay. um. Yeah, this is just regurgitating what the other stuff said. It's nothing but downside. It just keeps pointing down, but it does show a rebound. But this rebound is going to be weak. I will say that. Um, yeah, see, like right here, there's two conflicting charts here. One has a bullish pennant, which puts the price up on the 100K, and then you have the Elliott wave putting the price down to 43. So even the indicators are not 100% sure, and this is why I'm saying, and I've said it throughout this video, wait till July 1st. If you miss out on 10 grand, that's fine, because if you're expecting to make 50 to 60K or whatever, 100,000 profit, missing out on 10,000 is nothing. Okay? All right. The kitchen knife theory is holding true. I've explained the kitchen knife theory before, which is basically rising wedges. I said a rising wedge on the cross line is where you see things turn. We're getting close to, so for example, I'm going to summarize it because now I'm doing a long ass video today. Wherever the rising wedge crosses, like the actual cross point, that's where you can expect the date of the price to begin to change. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but it seems to be so far working. So I noticed that the rising wedge crosses here, price changes direction. Let me zoom in for those you low IQ fucks who don't understand what I'm saying. Rising wedge pattern detected, lines cross. That's exactly where the fucking price began to change direction. Rising pattern wedge detected, lines crossed. That's where the price began to change into an upward move, but there was a delay of maybe, what is it? Oh, a week. It still went down, but then it again rising wedge, and then here another as a downtrend. But notice the rising wedge is always down, 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 and sideways, and begin here begins to go up, 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 and then rising wedge pattern detected, crossing lines down, and then again you start that pattern. So the funny thing is that I'll point out here is this rising wedge pattern theory is also creating a potential cup and handle potential. So there's still probably more room for this to go down into the 50s, and that might be a boom like that. So again, I've the same thing I've been saying. Everything is pointing down for the remainder of the month, and maybe a bounce in a few days, because nothing stays down forever. It just there has to be like a dead cat bounce. But uh, this is saying somewhere around. Actually, this is if I move the lines, saying like July 6th or July 4th, in that whatever the first 2 weeks is saying that there might be some change, but this is a theory. Like so far, it's been pretty good, but we'll see how it plays out on my recent one. Let me get rid of all my fucking drawings. Again, I don't like my drawings. Okay, there we go. All right, we're almost done, people. Fucking 43 minutes. All right. So on the end of the day charts, down, down. Hello, here we go, right there. Death cross about to hit on the 8 hour. So, yeah. Okay, let me explain how that works. So, death cross on the 4 hour, what happened to the price? It began a descent to the downside. Death cross on the 6 hour began a further descent. We're about to get a death cross. I want to say, if I had to project that out, Tuesday the 25th in the morning. I'm Pacific time, people. I live in Los Angeles, so if I say Tuesday the 25th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, convert that to your time zone. So that's what it's projected, and that means another possible flush down to the downside. And then, fucking A, the 12 hour is also looking bearish. And then we also already have the EMA short, and which brings us to the critical one that I explained. If the fucking daily, which it did, if the daily got an EMA short, hold on, like really fucking hold on. All right, there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I mean, I'm an investor. For me, that's cool. But I don't see any pattern of rebound here. I don't see it. So, all right, we've come full circle. We're back at the beginning. I hope this was educational, enlightening, whatever, you know. So again, it's 62.7, so it's still going down. What you want is, go right here. What you're looking for, this is the pivot point, 62.727. 729. It's like it's on the fucking pivot line right now. It is on it, like sitting, like it's smashing it, if you know what I mean. But if it goes beneath that, then price can begin an acceleration to the 50s, and I think this is where we will see a potential bounce here at 52. But again, if we close the month beneath that, then what I am expecting to see is this, and then a B, and then a fucking C into this fucking area, which will really make everyone sad because all the gains and everything will be gone. But we'll see. I don't like to project this far out, even though the cycles are projecting this far out. I don't want to project because I could be wrong in this cycle here. This cycle could throw us into the fifth wave up here. So that's why I have it. Because right now, I do not have enough information to predict this call right here. All right, people. I've wasted 46 minutes of your life, but I hope that this makes you feel better if you're an investor. If you're a trader, good fucking luck. I got nothing for you. Um, um, yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll try to do it July 1st, but I'm flying out of Texas in the fucking morning, so it's gonna be rough. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.